What is going on, fellow web developers? My name is Tyler Potts, and in today's video we're going to be building, making, creating, coding a Vue JS drum kit. Now, as you can see on screen, there is a bunch of letters in red squares, or crimson squares to be more exact. Now, we can hover over these bad boys and we can click them to get different sounds. Boom, boom, clap, ting. I don't know what it... But it's not very fluent. It's not very, you know, if you need to hit S and K quite quickly, you'd be like, it's not going to work out too well. So I hooked up some key commands to this. So as you can see, each letter corresponds to a key on your keyboard you can press to also play the sound. So let me do that for you and give you a quick demonstration. Boom, tap, tap, boom, tap, tap, boom, boom, tap, tap, boom, 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 tap, boom, boom, clap. Boom, boom, clap. You know, I could have been a drummer back in the day, pretty sure. Could have been a different career path for me, but nonetheless, we're here now, and let's build this Vue JS drum kit. Okay, guys, so we are now in Visual Studio Code. Now, you can use any text editor you want and just open up an empty folder to do this. Now, in VS Code, we have a built-in terminal, so I'm going to open that now. It's Control and apostrophe on the keyboard. There is some weird stuff going on there. You know what, let's clear this and just... Bam, there we go. Okay, it's cleared. So this is what it'd normally be. I don't know why mine was all broken there. But here we go. We now have an empty terminal we can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run Vue, create, and then I'm just going to do dot. Now, what dot does is it means create the Vue application inside the current folder. So I'm going to hit enter, and that is now going to ask me, do you want to generate a project in the current directory or folder? I'm going to hit enter for yes, and now it's going to ask me what we want to use. Now I'm just going to use the default Vue 3 Babel and ESLint. So hit enter, and that's now going to generate our files we need. Now I just need to quickly mention that this is a blank folder, nothing else in here. Make sure that is the case when you generate your Vue.js files, and also you'll need the Vue CLI to actually use this. So if you haven't got the Vue CLI, we can go get it by going back to the web browser, type in Vue CLI, and it's going to come up right here, cli.vue. Let's click get started, and if you go to this guide, you can actually follow it to install it. So let's have a look. So if we go down, you can see there's a bunch of different features here. Here it is, Vue CLI, and that's what we have to install. So what we can do is just copy that and run npm-g install. And let's just see if we can find the actual thing here. So there's a bunch of different things, guide, coding reference, there's like installation right there. It was right underneath my eyes. So there you go. You can see the installation here for either yarn or npm. Choose whichever one you want. If you already got it and you just need to upgrade it, here's the upgrading. So guys, just head over to cli.vuejs.org if you do not already have Vue. So let's go back to our VS Code. It's still running, so I'll see you once that is done. Okay guys, so as you can see, this project is done. Well, it's not actually, just the folders are downloaded, but we can now go into source, and there's a bunch of different things. Let's start off by just running the project. So we're going to say npm run surf. You can see it says right here how to do that. Hit enter, and that should now load a development server we can access via the web. So you can see here it gives us a little link. Obviously open this up, and there we go. This is, let's just close the old one. It's gone, dead and gone. And here we are. Welcome to your Vue JS application or app. And you know, there's a bunch of guides and stuff. Feel free to follow them if you want, but you know, I think I know what I'm doing. I'm here to teach you, not to follow guides. So let's actually build the rest of this project. So what we're doing is we're going to go back to Visual Studio Code. We're just going to close this. We'll leave it running in the background, and we're going to go into, not main, Tyler, what are you doing? Go into app, and we're just going to remove this import. We're going to remove the hello world, and we're going to remove both the two items inside of here. We're then going to create a div that just says hello world, just so we have the temporary little thing we can see, and we're going to leave this in there. I think this styling's fine. We'll leave it in there. It looks good. It looks good. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We don't need to change it. You can style it however you want. Obviously, you don't have to follow my guide. We're going to delete the logo because we don't need it. And there we go. I think after, and we're going to delete the hello world component. There we go. We've got two empty folders there. Now, we actually need some sounds to get on with this project. Now, you can get these sounds inside of the repository. I haven't got it live yet, but I will put a link in the description down below. So if you do need these sound assets, please feel free to go down to the description, go into the repository and download the repository and get those sounds out if you require them. So let's go into this folder structure here. So now I'm going to go back one. You can see I've got sounds, and inside this, there's a bunch of .wav, files in here. We have Tom. Tom's a good guy. We've got Tink, you know, Tinkerbell, snare, ride, open hat, kick, hi-hat, clap, and boom. So let's just copy these, and we're going to bring them into our YouTube source and assets folder, and we're just going to, well, let's create a folder called sounds. I don't know why I didn't just copy the whole folder. Here we go, and paste, and there we go. We have a bunch of sounds inside of our assets folder. Great. Let's go back. Let's go back here. So now we've got those. You can see they're all here. Sounds, boom, clap, hi-hat, all the good ones, all the best ones. So there's a few things we need to do. Let's get the look and feel of this app done. So let's just have this div, and let's just break this down like that. Then well, I mean, that's close, but we're just going to have a H1, which then has a Vue Drumkit title. Please feel free to style and name these whatever you want. Keys, and there we go. Now, inside keys, we're going to create a component. Now, we won't use this component yet. We'll just ignore that for a second. Let's have a look at what this actually looks like inside of our browser. So let's click here. Let's click here, and there we go. Vue Drumkit. And it's looking, you know, it's looking pretty, yeah, it's good. It's good. We'll keep it at that. I like it. I like it. Let's go back to app.vue. And now inside of here, we need some data. So we need to actually bind those sounds somewhere so we can actually use them. So we're just going to use a inline data method here. But if you are using Vuex, feel free to use the store to put these and require these assets. So what we're going to do is we're going to create return, and then keys, and the keys is going to be an array of objects, and inside each one we're going to have a name. So the name of this one is going to be boom. The actual audio will be require, and we're just going to require assets. Oh, we're missing sounds boom.wave, just like that. And finally we're going to have the letter to access the to basically call this, and I'm going to use and we're going to use ASD, the middle row of keys. I mean, if you're using a different type of keyboard, I apologize. I don't know any other keyboards than this specific one. And let's just copy this, and let's just change boom now. So we're going to change boom to clap, not calp, clap. I actually did that before. Not calp. Assets, and there we go. Let's just see this. So we've got cloud. We need hi-hat. So let's just paste this in again, and we'll say hi-hat. Oh, sorry, I should have just D hi-hat, and then this one will be D. Let's paste again. Instead of clap, we're going to go for kick, and then we will give this F, and then we'll paste another one in, and instead of clap, we're going to say open hat, and this one will be A, S, D, F, G. That's the alphabet. I nailed it. And then again, instead of clap, we're going for rides. I don't know if I'm going to keep this in. I'll probably forget to cut it out, to be fair. But, you guys are enjoying this, me typing out the same ones over and over again. Right, skip ahead if I forget to cut this out. I apologise. Clap. I'll keep talking just so it's interesting. Clap and snare.wave. And then we'll go into H, J. We've got the good old J. And then we're going to have K and an L. And then instead of that, we're going to have Tink. Because, good old Tinkerbell. So let's go K. Oh, that's the wrong way. K. Hey. Bam. Now from clap, final one, we're going to have Tom. Tom's a good guy. We all like Tom. No one dislikes Tom. And there's an L. There we go. So we've got A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L. And they're all in there. So they're all there. They're all set. So we have those. They're all inside this key. Excuse me. Could you go away? They're all inside this keys array, which we can use to loop through a file, or loop through a component, which is what we're actually going to do. So now we have that. Let's also go down here. We need to style the keys. So we're going to say keys. We're going to say display flex. We need them to all sit next to each other. We're going to align items center, and we're going to justify content also center, just to bring it all to the middle, make it all look good. And then we can style the rest of it inside of the keys component. So what we're going to do is on the left, inside components, we're going to go new file. I'm going to call this key.vue. And inside of key.vue, we are going to basically say Vue to create the default template. Now, if you don't have this, so I just did something magical there. I created a whole template by typing in 3 letters. Now, if you go to extensions, I have something called Future. And Future allows me to write stuff like Vue and loads of different stuff to basically be quicker. So install that. I highly recommend it. It's really good. And yeah, that's that. Anyway, let me zoom in here. I apologize if I have not zoomed in yet, because that's my bad. So we're just going to create a simple button. Now in here, we're going to say sound.letter, and you're probably wondering, where is that sound coming from? Where are you getting this? Well, we're going to get it through our props. So I'm just going to give this a name of key, and then I'm going to have props. And in props, we can actually pass, if it lets me, we can actually just pass through sound, and we're going to pass through this through our keys here. So we've got sound, and that letter is going to come from our array objects. So each object is going to get passed through as a sound to our item. So if we now go to sound.letter, we can go under here, and we need to give this a class. I'm actually going to bind the class equal to key, and we're going to use backticks like that for now, and I'll show you why later on. So just play with me there. So we've got our sound. The sound has come through as letter. So let's style this, and then let's go view it. So we're going to have a button style. So we're going to say button. Inside our button, we're going to have appearance, none. We're going to have background, none. We're going to have outline, none, and border, none. Now, once we've done that, we're also going to have cursor of pointer, and then we're going to go down to display block. And then we're going to say width 100 pixels and height 100 pixels. I don't know why it's highlighting there. There we go. Let's scroll down a little so you can see it a bit better. We'll have font size about 48 pixels. Again, style this however you want. This is totally up to you. But if you want to follow along the tutorial, feel free to just follow anything I do, copy it to a T, or try and customize it. I highly recommend, once you're finished with the tutorial, if you are following along, to try and customize it yourself. Get a bit, maybe try and get a new UI, or maybe try and add some new features. Maybe add drums and then add a guitar one, or strings, or something else, like piano maybe. That'd be cool. Try do something like that. I implore you to try all these fun things. Let's give the font weight of 700, and then a background of crimson, background color, because I like to make sure I'm specific to what I'm adding. So after we have the crimson color, we're going to have a border radius of, 50% might be cool, but we're going to just say 1 rem. We just want small rounds. And then I'm going to have a transition of 0.4s, because we're going to have hover effects. So we're going to say hover, and inside of hover, we're going to say opacity 0.7. And we're going to say transform, scale, and we're going to scale it down when we hover over it to 0.95, which should be a good scale. And then we're going to say button active. So when we click the button, but we're also going to say button.clicked, because we're going to add a class every time we play the sound. I should call it played, that would make more sense. But I'm already committed, so we're going this way. We're going to scale this by 1.1, which should scale it up quite a little bit, which will make it look nice, well, by 10%. And then we're going to add a box shadow. Box shadow, please give me autofill. I'm useless without autofill. I need my autocomplete. And then RGBA, just a 0.7. We're gonna make it quite dark. I want it to be quite visible. And there we go. So that's that. That's all of what we needed to do for this button here with the class of key. We probably should have said .key. I don't know why I used button. It's fine. We styled it. It's done. Let's go back to our app now. So now we have these keys, but we're not actually creating any keys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say key, and we actually need to import this first. So before we continue with that, I'm gonna say import key from /components/key. Which should hopefully give us what we want. So underneath this, where we have our components area, we're just going to say key, because we need to pass it into our template. And now we can say key v4. I mean, that's close. It's not far from it. We're going to have a key and an I, which are index, as or in keys. And then we're going to say our sound is equal to our key. And then our key is equal to I, because we need a key in every single for loop. So that should now be rendering on the page. So if we go back, and there you go, you can see it's rendering, but it doesn't play anything. So you can see we can click it, we can do that. I can press A, S, D, and all these keys, but they don't actually do anything yet. So we've got a little bit to do. So we need to get this sound playing. But we've done the hard step. So let's go back to this, and now let's go back to key. So we're done with App View right now. We're done. We don't need it. So what next? What next we need is to basically add a event listener. So we need to say on click, we just want to play. And we're going to create a method in here called methods play. And I mean, we're not going to omit it. Thanks for autofilling. You tried, but we're gonna have this. We also want data. Oh, atta. Does anybody want some atta? And then we'll return, and we will say clicked is equal to false. So clicked is we're gonna basically swap this when we click it and then swap it back after a while. Also, don't forget your commas, guys. Commas are important. So inside a play, we're gonna say this dot clicked is equal to true. We're then gonna say new audio, and we're gonna pass this dot sound dot audio. And then we're just gonna say dot play. So that's gonna play it as soon as we try and click or call the play function method. Now under here, we've set click to true, but we also now need to set a timeout, and we're gonna set this to 200. So about half in our CSS, we actually have it at 0.4. So we're gonna give it about half the time to actually then time out to give us a little bit of animation, because we don't need it. If we're pressing keys multiple times, we don't want them to stay we don't want them to stay like that for too long. You guys get what I'm saying. So there we go. We now have all of these, which is looking good. That's pretty, it's fair, it's done. But we still, let's test it. Let's go and test it. So if we go back, boom, boom, clap, boom, boom, clap. I hope you guys can hear this. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, in OBS says you can, so I assume you can. If not, I'll just play fake sounds over it, just so you guys think I'm doing so. Yeah. But this is working currently. I can hear all of the different. Here's Tom, good old Tom, just little Tom, 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 Tom. And there we go. So that's enough of that. So let's now go back to our VS Code, and we need to add in our keybind. So obviously we need to be able to say ASD, FG, what all the other ones. And we're going to do that in the mounted function or method. So lifecycle method mounted. So when this gets mounted, we want to say document.add event listener, and we're going to say key press. We could do key down. Key down may make more sense. We'll start off with key down, and if that doesn't work, we'll try something else. We need to get the E. We need to go here, and it looks like it actually auto-filled it. Let's do that for now. There we go. Let's also remove that. So yeah, key code is now deprecated, so we need to use .key. We also need to make sure if we accidentally had caps lock on, this would not work. So we need to say .to lowercase, and we also need to say on our this.sound, and we called it letter, we need to say .to lowercase, because it's also in capital. Just to lowercase it, just to normalize it so it's both lowered. We could uppercase them instead because it's already uppercase, but I wanted to, we're lowercase. Lowercase sounds smarter. Anyway, and then we're going to call this .play, and that is actually all we need to do to actually get this working. So let's go back, let's refresh just so it's got a refresh, and now I'm going to press A. You can see I can now do tap tap dush, tap tap dush. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, there you go. But you can see the animation doesn't play when we click. We need to actually. So the reason I use backticks and bounce this is so we can actually do something in here. So we can go in here, put a space, go like this, and say if it's been clicked, if clicked is true, we're going to have a clicked class. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you scroll down, you can see we added button click here. So that should now work. So that's actually done. This is the final product. I hope that sounds right. It doesn't sound too loud or too quiet, guys. But yeah, so guys, you can see here, this is a Vue JS Drumkit. We can do a bunch. Now, if I hold, so this is going to blow your ears. I apologize if you've got headphones on. If you hold down the key, you can also do something like this. Sounds like a machine gun going off, especially if I do this one. So anyway, I'm going to stop doing that. But you can see you can press a bunch of different keys to call these functions here. And that's how you create a Vue JS drum kit. Now, I want to see you guys create pianos, guitars, create all the cool things, and then make a music band through Vue JS, guys. I want to see it. Prove it to me you can do it. Send me a tweet on Twitter at Tyler_Potts_, or join my Discord channel. The Discord link is down below. You can join it and, you know, get involved with the community. We do a lot of fun things in there. We talk a lot. We talk about culture, games, coding, and all the fun stuff. So, you know, get involved, join the community, and, you know, maybe if you need help as well, if you get stuck, we have a help channel so we can help you with your code. Anyway, guys, so thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, do not forget to leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because if you do, I will really appreciate it. And guys, finally, do not forget to leave any feedback or comments you have in the description, because that really helps me out. If I see you guys saying, hey, your music was too loud, your voice was too quiet, or you say, hey, I didn't understand this or that, I will try my best to help you. But anyway, guys, that was it for this video. And guys, I have one last request. If you have been subscribed for a while and you've enjoyed my content and you want to support the channel more, you can do so by going to the join button down below, click on it, and it gives you a bunch of different perks you can subscribe to. If you subscribe to these perks, you pay a small fee, so the smallest one is $1.99, and that supports, not only does it support me, but it also gives you extra benefits. So you choose to subscribe to that, and then you get a special Discord role. There's a bunch of different features. Go read it down below if you're interested. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video, and peace out.